That's on me. Hey, everybody, I am Tommy, and you are on the Lifeboat with me always.
I'm Johnny Scoville. Sundance to your Butch Cassidy.
Oh, nice. I swear to God, I was expecting an Ed McMahon. I thought I might get an Ed McMahon out of you. Well, Kathy, good to have you
Johnny,
here.
I'm Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about that.
Yeah, no, I got you. I didn't even think of that. I see you didn't get a nap, did you? No, I did. And don't say that because my wife will show up and everyone will yell at me. I slept more today. Once YouTube went down, we were like, nap. Right? It's time to absolutely take a nap. Hey, Atlanta, good to have you here. So
I haven't slept well. I didn't sleep well at all last night.
Really?
Well,
I blame the Nancy Guthrie case. Eddie, good to have you here. Melissa, what's happening?
I blame.
Hey, Kristen Melinda, good to have you here.
I blame Barney Fife.
Yeah, man. The Nanos cat, honestly, it's going to start making – hold on, what do we got? ABC News article says Derek was in Tucson on Thursday for a hearing on the ransom. Can I post the link? Yeah, I don't care. ABC, absolutely. You can post that link. If you guys leave, though, before the end of the show, Johnny Scoville will come to your house and try to date your daughter. Do you think that's way worse than trying to
kick the door in?
Yeah.
Or what you said you were going to do?
Yeah, I would probably kick the door in. Neckbeard, number one suspect. Yeah, he's mine too. Mopman, good to see you. Chloroform fixes sleep. Don't ask. Yeah, have you ever said, hey, does this smell like chloroform?
It's always been one of my favorites.
It's a pretty good line, but I've never actually done it. The chloroform thing scares me, man. It accidentally kills people all the time.
DJ Daddy, notice the firehole shirt.
Nice. DJ Daddy, what's happening? Good to see you, man. I hope your boy's all right. Tell him I said hello. Hello, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, Gail. We will do that. Debbie, I'm glad you're here. MJ, what's happening? Caroline in Canada. Right on time, too. Caroline's been here a long time.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that part of Canada.
She's in her hoose.
Sorry. Is it going to be one of those nights?
It is.
It is.
I'm punchy. I haven't slept much.
I know.
I tried napping today. While you were napping, I probably got an hour, maybe.
What do I think of Derek Calleja? I think that if Derek Calleja was in on this in any way, then Neckbeard and his wife probably wouldn't have turned him in, right? The FBI didn't find out about them out of the blue, right? They would have eventually, right? But when they reached out to Neckbeard and Nany, and that's who they reached out to, they immediately turned it over to the cops. So I doubt that they're involved. I think the guy's just a greedy piece of crap, and he's got a better chance of, something good than any chance whatsoever of ever meeting a girl that's not going to say to him, wait a second, you're that dude. You're the guy that looks like the dark-haired dude. Like if the person from, what's the name of that band? Flock of Seagulls had dark hair, you would be him. If you remember, let's get a look at him. Where is that handsome cuss? There he is. That's your boy. There's Johnny Scoville.
He's got squeaky vibes.
He's wearing a diaper pin in his ear.
Yes,
I have nothing against the faux, cat print.
Right.
But it's more something you'd see on your grandmother. I don't know. I don't think it's something you want to see on a man, but I just mean style-wise. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sheriff says he's got nada. Yeah, he does have nada.
Nothing. Zero glitch.
Not a suspect on his list. They got 40 names on a piece of paper they can bring by every single pew-pew shop, Johnny Scoville. Pew-pew shops. You know what those are?
Tell me. Because I've heard a lot of people say pew-pew.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why do you
Everyone is saying you got to run these things by the pew-pew store.
Is that embarrassing to hear? Can you imagine an adult
It's a gun store, man.
with a video on with a light red saying pew-pew?
Yeah. Timu Bad Bunny is my suspect number 9999999.
This is what we've been reduced.
Right. If you're policing your speech because you're going to lose a little bit of cash, get it together, or we're going to be policing our speech a lot. They're going to gun stores.
You're not good at that.
Policing my speech?
Yeah. You say all the wrong words.
I'm getting better at it.
Hold on. We're 5 minutes in.
I'm getting better.
You're not. You would if we'd help you?
If everyone would just help me a little bit more. I hope they brought Derek to Arizona on Thursday. They asked him more questions about that 9-second call and text asking, did you get the Bitcoin? Yeah. Again, that call got them turned in. Right? Why would you turn them in? Because I promise you, if Derek is in on this, he isn't going to hold his mud. You know what that expression means?
Do you think I know that expression?
It was really for the benefit of the audience.
Hold your mud. It means
keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut.
If you've never been in one of those terrible situations where they bring you into one of those little rooms that usually has soundproofing on the walls, and if not, it's at least carpeted from floor to ceiling, and they say, we just want to ask you a couple of questions, right? This is your chance to prove, right? This is your chance to tell us your side of the story. If you've never been in one of those rooms, there's a funny sensation that happens where everything inside you turns to liquid, right? Everything in your body decides it's liquid and it would all like to leave. Hence the expression holding your mud. Harvey and TMZ said on Hannity tonight he won't publish future perpetrators' emails. Harvey, good for you, man. Right? For real. Proud of you, Harv. Just a touch under 2 weeks. You know what that means, don't you, Johnny Scoville?
Tell me.
The ratings on that has started to tank.
Right?
Because Harvey's not doing this out of the good of his heart. I promise you, man.
Another thing, if they say to you, the door's not locked, there's no handcuffs on, you can get up, walk out anytime you want. Walk out. Get up, walk out.
If they say you have the right to remain silent, prove that you can exercise the right to remain silent. If you talk to them, you are going to end up doing time. Do me a favor, everybody. There's 286 of you in here. Smack that like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell for notification.
When they say the door's not locked, you can walk out. When you do, they arrest you the next day, just so you know.
Right.
But at least you have a day to kind of transition to get ready for it.
Who is Neckbeard to them? Neckbeard is the son-in-law of the woman who has been abducted. Did I answer that right? Or is that more of a, did I miss something? We believe him, right? Yeah, I mean, Roddy Mom, for real. I'm sorry.
You wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Of course not. He's hit it out of the park since the start of this. So I got a comment from somebody earlier, right? And they said, you don't really understand true crime. So let me help this out. We can do this like this. I could slow down really slow.
Boy.
And talk like Vinny Napolitan, right?
Even on double speed. It's funny. You watch Vinny, you put him on double speed. He sounds normal. Then his guest starts talking. You're like,
it sounds
wait.
like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so here's the deal. Here's the real problem in this investigation. For all of us out here that are armchair sleuths and internet quarterbacks, armchair quarterbacks, and the people that are trying to figure this out online, don't judge me, dude. It's a long day. Here's really what it comes down to. We have no idea where entry was made. They said that there was forced entry. Now, by definition, if we can't see a door that's been jimmied, we don't see something that's broken, that doesn't necessarily mean that there was not forced entry. But when they use that in the other sense of the word, which sucks, it means that they went and she went to the door and then they sort of barrel roll her over. They force entry. So it's one or the other. But you know what? Until we know, that gets hard.
Here's the deal.
Hold on. They also say inside there were signs of a struggle. Okay? We have no idea what happened in that house. And if you don't tell us what happens in that house to some degree, then we're going to sit and we're going to speculate. So here's what you ought to do, Barney Fife. Stop talking completely, because every time you do, you screw this up. You have a press secretary or something at every police department in the country. Have them do what you pay them for.
Someone should tell him he has a right to remain silent.
Right.
He doesn't know that.
And do it every day. For real, every day. You want all of the people hanging out in front of that house to disappear? Here's what you do. Have a 3-hour press conference every single day. I don't care if you say nothing. Say it for 3 hours, because all of those people are going to run down there to listen to you. This is what happens in every other normal case, but you're not giving any information, which is why people like me go neckbeard. Right? We don't have anything else to go on. You're not giving us any information. We don't know what happened inside the house. We don't know where the person got through. We don't know if there's anything proving that Neckbeard dropped her off at that time. The garage door opened. That's what we're hearing. The first time we heard it was on film. Give us a little something there. Throw us a bone here.
Ryan says Nanos has to be in on the crime to fumble it so bad. First of all, I don't fumble. I don't fumble.
No, you're not a fumbler.
I don't.
Not an entire
but
career.
He's a combination of inept and a beef with. He's been an investigator, right?
For a long time.
With the FBI. So that's a combination of those two is what makes him look so,
Yeah, I understand this, Deb. I still want to know why the blood stopped at the door. There was blood there on the porch. Why did they not find any blood, any other blood around? Well, here's something that's going to be a bit of a bummer. They kind of said in one of I've been going through every single one of these stupid statements, and in one of them they said there were blood pools by the door that led away. That's all they said, and I don't know what the hell that means. I really don't, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of blood leading away. But those things can kind of be explained. If you realize the person you're carrying out is leaking and you stuck a towel over to their head, or anything like that, you don't have to go too far right to the end, right? It's not, if the person is pulling up where I would assume I would have a getaway driver pull up, then they're not too far from where that blood stain is. But I completely get what you're saying. And then all of the other stuff that's ancillary, right? Hey, man, there was an adult protective services card left in the door. If that's the truth, great, let's run with it. If it's not the truth, maybe throw us a bone and say, yeah, you know what, that was a fake story. What they filmed in the door was put there because it was the wrong house. Give us something, because this is what's causing all of that to happen. Capiche?
It's a $45 tomahawk.
In America?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you live in the wrong country. 378 people here. Do me a favor, smack the like button, hit the bell for notification, and make sure you hit subscribe. If you don't, you'll regret it. And make sure you do that on the Johnny Scoville. That would be Chase the Heat. And
Please
get over
do.
there and do it at Relatable Reese. We almost got Reese to 18 grand.
I hear
Yes.
Is that true?
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Well, 5 minutes in and probably demonetized. Let's help make up for the loss.
By the way,
income.
someone left a comment. I hope they don't keep making money when they demonetize you. Oh, I promise you they do.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a bunch that have been demonetized. Go watch them. There's still commercials.
Oh, there's ads.
I'm not getting paid on it.
Yeah,
They're still collecting.
It says limited income. And I've had videos that were massive.
Limited, you know what they mean by that?
Yeah. We're going to make it. You're not. It's
I
limited
have
to
one
us.
With almost 500,000 views. I made butt kiss. What NZ said. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nada.
Well, they do you like that. Debbie, thank you so much. It helps more than you can imagine. It really does. Speaking of Reese, there she is.
It really does help.
Boy, I got lucky. There's nothing better than when you say something positive about your wife and then she shows up.
I think she was there.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, but I didn't know. Explain to the
Kristen.
new people why the police take the mail, please. Absolutely. One of their fears is that since it did not work in the traditional sense of the modern word of actually reaching out to somebody through TMZ and the local affiliates, that maybe somebody might go back to the old school where they start mailing things in. They also want to get an idea of any of the people that mail and say, hey, you're scheduled for this on such and such a date. It gives them an idea of anybody that has come by that house or anybody that might come by that house. Bills will tell you that someone might have come out to the house. They're going through all of that mail. But the big thing, truthfully, that they're looking for is somebody that reaches out to them to say, got grandma or mom or whatever you want to look at. Harvey loves writing Harvey and providing this. Harvey is an absolute asshat. I'm not going to back off from that. I'm never going to. They demonetized the stream and they still make money on it. Welcome to YouTube.
Hang with him. I could not be a fan. If you were like the last dude on the planet, we had to make it work. I'd probably hit him in the head with a coconut.
He would find out dirt on you. Even if it was just the two of you, he'd be breaking stories. There's just the two of us here. I'm pretty sure he stole my meat. Harvey's no good, man. And here's the thing. I liked Harvey when he was just a bailiff. You know what I mean?
need sleep.
Yeah, you could use some sleep. We're all getting a little punchy. I think everybody is getting a little punchy on this. And the story is winding down. Hello, Whitby Island girl. I'm hoping that we don't let it. I absolutely will report on other things. Hola, G-Man. But this is the tragedy in this. I promise you, when they write the story of this, the post-mortem of the case, it's going to come back to the fact that Nanos is a complete bumbling idiot and has destroyed much of this process. The not communicating with the public might seem like a good idea. Communicate with the public by communicating with the public. Don't communicate with the public by doing interviews with people where in one interview you say the family has been completely eliminated. And then in the next interview you say, well, you can't eliminate anybody. I mean, that to me sounds like it's incongruous. Smudge Girl says, hope you got the pictures I sent you. They went to Johnny. Thoughts? Just want to watch. Don't usually step out with comments. Really? Well, the more you do, the more people get a chance to know you. This is a community. And see, I didn't see him in my inbox, but apparently Johnny Scoville has them. The new Clouseau, not bad, Valerie. People, this has been a comedy of errors, and it would be funny if there wasn't a woman's life on the line. And I'm sorry. I don't see any scenario where this woman is still alive. I'm not trying to bum anybody out. It just doesn't make sense from a criminal standpoint. There's only two reasons that you would go in there, and one is to kill the person, in which case she's most assuredly dead. The only other one I could see is if you were going to be doing a kidnapping for ransom. If that is the case, it didn't work, and there's no reason to continue to hold on to the person. Or it failed before it ever got off the ground, which would make a lot of sense because, again, why do you grab the body if you want to torture the family? You're either looking for money or you're trying to torture the family. People that say, well, they accidentally killed her and then dragged her off. No one's that stupid, I promise you. I promise you. You're not safer. In the process of picking up an old woman and moving her out of that house, you're going to dump enough DNA where they're going to find you.
In 40 minutes, man. I'd have made that place look like a place. People would come in. Oh, it's not. When are you going to rent it? I mean, it'd be empty, man.
Yeah, 40 minutes is a long time to be inside that house.
They stole nothing. I don't get it.
Yeah, this is interesting, right? What really bothers me is if Savannah and the money. Yeah, if that were my mom, I'd sell everything I had to get my mom home. How about putting up $1 million reward, right? She came out and said, and I'm not busting the balls of this woman, so don't get all over me. I understand. What I don't understand is this. We are willing to pay $6 million to get her home. Go put $2 million up to get her return, and watch how anybody that's right on the fringe, the kind of people that go, I couldn't possibly rat somebody out. It's not in my style. I'm sorry, $6 million. People will change their tune really quickly. Or if you accidentally killed someone in a fit of rage and need to try to clean to cover it up. Again, and I'm not being cold-hearted, people are going to get pissed. But if you're trying to cover up the murder of an 84-year-old woman, They bruise incredibly easily, right? Burn the house down, throw her as hard as you can into the shower 2 or 3 times, kick the water on, and leave her there. I mean, you're going to wash away all the DNA. It's going to be 12 hours before someone finds a woman that's been laying in hot water that cycles off and then comes back and cycles on and then comes back as the hot water either fills. I'm not trying to be cold-hearted. It's just that to get rid of a body by picking it up and carrying it out of there buys you a whole set of headaches that you can't imagine. You now have to get rid of what you just took. Look at this, closing in on 500 people. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification, and hit that like button.
We're in Salinas, Ecuador.
We're in Salinas, Ecuador. And if you listen outside, you can hear the raging of the carnival.
I don't want to be out there.
I don't know what the hell's going on. It's a lot quieter tonight than it was last night. Did you watch the interview with Brian Enton and the sergeant of the? Yeah, I did. You really should. 26 years experience, has him on a desk job as in retaliation out of working. This is one of literally a litany of stories, and Brian Enton does a great job on it, by the way. But this is just one of so many stories. This is why the union voted 98% on a absolutely no faith whatsoever in you vote.
Yes,
right?
Grit News, we can see your post.
Yes, we can. A zero confidence vote in their boss, 98%.
That's crazy.
Now, well, here's the good thing about that, right? That's an uncomfortable feeling, but it sure as hell isn't political. You're not going to tell me that every one of those cops votes against Democrats. It doesn't make sense. This is a group of people that, cops come in all varieties, man, red, blue, everything in between, but they all think this guy's an idiot. This isn't political, and they got to get off of that political shit because this is somebody's life. Since this guy took office, all of the guys that have been there forever, right? The senior people, they take early retirements. So now the average person working into homicide has been there for 2 years. And I'm not saying they're not great cops. They might be excellent cops. I still want one that's an excellent cop that's been there for 15 years.
2 years.
2 years is short. By the way, doesn't mean they've been a cop for 2 years, right? Full disclosure, a lot of these people could have been working in sex crimes for 9 years, and then they go over to start working homicide. But homicide is different. It's different than any other kind of investigation. And there's an intuition that these guys tend to have. A couple of them have reached out to me through email. Tried to say via and by. I did the bio that they had. They reached out by email to tell me that this is an embarrassment for everybody that works this kind of case. The fact that crime scene looks like a circus is just, it's beyond comprehension. You can't get evidence from the outside of this house anymore, right? I mean, you can, but if you try to bring it into a courtroom, they're going to crucify you.
And he said that the defense lawyers are lining up to grab this case.
I'm telling you.
I'd like to do it. I'd like to take this case.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, what did Mopman say? That's what I missed. Read Mopman's if you can.
Nanos is not a person who should be in charge of anything, including cleaning a toilet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the guy's he's probably pretty decent politically. This guy strikes me as the kind of guy, he's great in front of a camera. When he came out and did oh shucks, we're all getting along here. Don't let anybody fool you, man. The FBI and the city of Tucson have been working together for what? Decades and decades. We've had an office in their building. I mean, we had officers in their building working out of their office for decades. Yep, and you weren't there for most of them. This guy doesn't get along with the feds. He can't stand the federal government. And I understand. I'm not a big fan of the federal government either. But in his line of work, you kind of have to be able to work with them. And it has been pretty obvious going back, especially to the whole, they're investigating him for a lot of stuff, including what happened in that election. So, I mean, that is an uncomfortable situation. It's like having to go out to dinner with your girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend, right? It's one of those places that you don't want to have to be in, but you're there. And if you're going to err on the side of being over the top inviting, he needs to shut his mouth and he needs to let the person that does this for a living, right? They have somebody whose job it is to talk to the press, and we haven't met them. Think about it. For real. Anybody that's into true crime, you know what I'm talking about. They have a press person. There's a cop that does that for a living. Where are they? We don't even know their name. How's that possible? Because this dickhead likes the limelight, except he's not very good at what he does. So is there anyone in Annie's home at all? Or are they all just hiding? They're all just hiding. At the moment, there is nobody in that house. You find it hard to believe that there wasn't some sort of DNA on the plant that came off of the glove. Yeah, it is an awkward scenario, right? Whether it's the boyfriend or whether it's truthfully that First of all, the dynamics of this suck anyway. If you get into a department where it works beautifully, as soon as they got on that scene and went, uh-oh, this isn't a woman that wandered off, call in the feds. But he had such an ego, he was going to figure this out in 48 hours.
Can you remember a case where it's a little unsure who's really why the feds are involved, but they aren't really heading it up? When's the last time you saw a case?
It happens.
Weird though, right?
It is weird. It definitely happens, and there's always friction. The feds don't like state boys don't like feds. I've been arrested in many situations where they're all there.
Ego's a big part of it, you think?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If I'm not trying to screw it, it's midnight. It's a swinging dick thing, right? And you're definitely more swinging dick at an FBI guy than you are as a state sheriff. Right. Those guys are considered the Babe Ruth of solving crimes. So anytime you can solve it without having to bring in the federal boys, then you start feeling cool.
By the way, G-Man said the other night, last night, you woke up his neighbors. Your voice carried it. Woke up his neighbors.
I bet they're pissed.
I'm just saying.
I bet they're pissed. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep it down a little tonight. I can't
G-Man,
back that up.
My neighbor is so don't worry about it.
That's the spirit, G-Man. Hey, be nice to G-Man. I can't believe they never took the doormat to be tested. I'm going to tell you something. Long before anybody said that, TC did. Why did they not take that door? Now, and I know that people are talking a lot about testing the foliage. I don't understand. I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about it, right? He had gloves on, but he also had a pen in his mouth. And if you watch the action of him bending down to pick it up, the light comes on, the light goes off. He's biting that in his teeth. I don't know if you ever smoked a big cigar, but biting something in your teeth usually gets stuff to.
Yeah, but if you have a glove on and you got like a pencil in your pocket and you take the pencil out,
right? Everything that it touches,
tainted.
Right?
It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what they're touching is I'd like to know if he drooled on anything. The news reported that there are other cameras on the property, and they're trying to extract footage from them. Any truth to that? They're absolutely trying to get footage, and what they're trying to get it from are the companies that bought all of that footage. Right? There are AI companies that buy the stuff to scrape it. They're not able to get it, I guess, out of this is what they're saying, and who knows if there's any truth to it, because for the love of God, they don't have a press person. But they're trying to get it off of the companies that buy this stuff to scrape it. That's how they got the last one. If Andy and Tommaso are cleared, has the sheriff returned Andy's car? He has not. That car has not been returned. Hold on 1 second, folks. I missed something here. I missed somebody's comment. Someone said, sorry for your loss. I didn't see what the loss is. I am sorry for your loss. I know they can't make them do a polygraph test. Like I said, it was I was innocent. I'd take a polygraph test. Yeah, if I were innocent, I'd take it too. Sorry, but if you want to get your name off of the list, take a polygraph. Volunteer to take a polygraph. If anybody is listening to this, God forbid, you find yourself in the same situation. The first thing you do when they show up is say, can you polygraph test me tonight? Tonight. For real. Right. Don't send me home. I don't want to drink. I don't want to get a polygraph right now. Let's take this polygraph so you can take me off the suspect list. Don't spend 2 weeks, right, investigating me. If it's not Neckbeard, then they've blown this case, because the time when you had the best chance, you were over there searching his house.
You believe she's in Mexico? Debbie Betts asks.
Personally, I don't think so. If it were me, I sure as hell would not want to go across an international border with somebody that has been kidnapped.
Where everybody's looking for.
Right? Even if you got them in the trunk, they kick, right? They think of all of the ways that can go bad. And as a criminal, I mean, I don't know. Here's what's going to sound crazy, but if you drove even halfway to Phoenix, right, and ducked into a neighborhood somewhere and just had a safe house, it's really illogical that they're going to be able to find you. It is a very big state. And flying over with drones that you have to get within 700 feet of that particular device, I don't think they're going to be able to scale that out to Phoenix. Right? It's not much of a drive even to go all the way there. It's not much of a drive.
South Girl says, how can you clear anyone without catching the person who did it? Makes no effing sense.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Exactly.
Well, I agree 100%. You can clear me, right? Because I can easily prove that I was in Salinas, Ecuador when this went down. But it's literally got to be that wild. There has to be an alibi that is so airtight that you can go, well, they weren't the person at the door, right? They were not even in town at that time. Now, check my phone. If I haven't talked to anybody in Arizona, you can start to at least narrow down where you go, pretty slim chance. But they're still out canvassing, and they're still asking whether anyone ever saw Neckbeard with another phone. Why won't you comment on the book that claims they played kidnapping game? I did on the last video, but I'll be more than happy to do it again if you'd like. Right? It's an odd game, right? I'm not going to bullshit you. It's a really odd game. But I remember as a kid, we used to go over to a friend of ours' houses, and they used to play this thing called Bloody Murder. Remember this?
Sure.
Okay. So there are some kid games that are just kind of out there and twisted, right? They really are. I don't think that the fact that she wrote in her book that as a little girl, that her aunt, I believe it was, right, or an older cousin, and they used to play this game called kidnapping. I don't think I can't draw a line from that to, oh, I bet they went and kidnapped her. I think that a psycho that read that book could have taken some kind of I mean, that kind of stuff happens, but I did comment on it. I promise you I'm not ducking anything. Dear Lord, where could they be hiding her if she is deceased? A lot of places. If you got to look at how much land there is in Tucson, just south of it, I mean, we're looking at, there's enough land out there to make a state, and it's just sprawling nothingness. It's terrifying to think of all of the ways that you can get rid of it. There are also basically, they're like farms. There are big plots of land out there that people own, and get a burn barrel.
Just out of curiosity, what's Neckbeard's real name? That's a great question.
That is a solid question.
It's working.
Around here, it's Neckbeard. No, his name is Tommaso Sion. Think Harvey's nonstop media tours could be selfishly setting the stage for TMZ. Nancy Guthrie points of interest. Bus tours in Tucson. If you don't get the reference, Boston Freeburg, great comment. Harvey Levin was literally doing tours of the places that Sean Combs allegedly raped women in LA. Right? For real. It's on the TMZ tour. Now, and this was while the trial was still going on against the guy. Lowlifes. And I'll tell you what, man, this isn't political, but if you ever saw what the inside of that place looked like after the Charlie Kirk assassination, I don't have a lot of respect for TMZ or anybody there. But Harvey, yeah. I don't know, man. Rock stars sell their souls. If reporters do, Harv's one of them. I promise you, he'd be happy to sell it. There was a gem show. What if it was meant for a neighbor? Boy, oh boy, that's a good size screw up. Honest to God, I guess it's a possibility. The gem show is one of the biggest gem shows on earth. Goes on for a really long time.
It's got to be the biggest. It's a week long.
Yeah, and it's not a theory that is beyond the realm of possibility. It really isn't. However, when I look at the whole situation, I still go with what makes the most sense to me. And what makes the most sense to me is that the person that was walking up to that front door, number one, I will say this again. I know I've said it 85 times. Breaking into someone's house at 2:00 in the morning is a dangerous thing. And you sure as shit ain't going through the front door. So that dude went up to that front door to take off the camera. There's never been a burglar that went through the front door. I promise you, right? Because you can see it from the front. Right? They go through the back door. He wasn't going there to try to get into that house. Thank you, Skorsky.
Hey, Grit News, your posts aren't being blocked. We can read your post.
Grit News?
Yeah, Grit News says, my posts are being blocked. No worries, I won't post again.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. We're not blocking your posts.
It's hard to read all of them. If you want to have a question, 3 big Qs, capital Qs in front, and it catches his attention.
Yeah, they move pretty quick.
3 Cs for a comment, but don't do it in caps.
I don't think she's in Mexico. I think she's in the Tucson area. With them trying to keep the border secure as possible, that would be the biggest mistake. And especially with everything that's going on. Do you think 40 minutes in the house, there could be a DNA under a toilet seat? Interesting. I doubt they use the bathroom, but it is a possibility. Honestly, I remember walking into banks, and the second I walked through the front door going, oh, my God, I got to go to the bathroom. Your whole body starts going, just get rid of everything you got in you. It is a possibility. Yeah, we've talked about this. The vast majority of the people that watch me believe it's 2 different people. I have zero skill in this, and I'm not ducking and dodging.
Is if they cased it, went back, and got the backpack. I mean, because you're so comfortable there, I can see doing that.
Well, no, I can't. I just can't look at it and do as well as you guys do. I've always said this isn't a 1-man job, man. I thought this was a 3-man job, right? Minimum. Might have had more, but I mean the execution at the house, that the execution of the duty, not killing them. Right, but the execution of the heist, so to speak, is a 3-man job, and we can say that these people are hacks, but they didn't steal anything, right? That they were myopic. They went in there, in my opinion, to grab this woman, And now that a lot of people are weighing in on could this be a burglary? You're hearing intelligent people, right? Not an ex-con, but you're hearing intelligent people say the same thing. Nobody breaks through the front door, right? And they rob houses during the day. They rob businesses at night. At night, there's nobody in the business. During the day, you figure you're going to get a good chance of getting someone not home. Even if you're going to do a home invasion, it's nice if they're awake, because if they're in their room and you don't know what's going into that dark room, you could meet Mr. Smith and Wesson, and that would be the end of you.
True story.
Feds pulling cameras today at neighbors. Yeah, and they've been doing this for a hot minute. I promise you they've got way more leads than we think. They're not in the dark. It looks that way. And press conferences are great. Even if all you do, they checked everywhere for DNA in the bathroom unless they're incompetent. Oh, that's the question, isn't it, G-Man?
Interesting question from Sikorsky.
Do you guys think the YouTube crash could even be related to the investigation, like them trying to isolate signals? That's a very interesting question. That's a very interesting question. I haven't thought of that.
Never thought of that.
But I will tell you this. If this is a sick puppy, right? If this isn't about something that went wrong, like a burglary that went wrong, then I think that there's a half-assed decent chance that whoever did this is watching stuff like this. Not mine, but some big channel. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're in the chat. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they don't miss it. Because if you're doing this for some sick thing in your head, then you're the kind of person that would return to the scene of the crime, even if it was virtual. Do me a favor, everybody, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. Tell us where you're coming in from.
Sorry, the cop.
And make sure that you stop by and hit subscribe at the Johnny Scoville's channel. And we're going to get my wife to 18,000 because then she owes me. Giggity. Do you think the way the guy was moving was from a leg injury or to throw things off? I don't think that the guy that was moving was worried about throwing anything off. I don't think he thought anything was going to be able to be captured from this film. I think that they knew that there wasn't a subscription. I think there was a lot of inside info, in my opinion. I think they're shocked to shit that there's a picture of them on the front door because nothing should have ever been recorded. There's a 3-hour whatever, and then it keeps recording over it. They figured by the time they found her, any of that stuff would probably be gone. That's my gut, but I'm just going on gut. He didn't look like a guy that was too worried about it. I mean, yeah, he was trying to cover stuff up, but I think that they were planning on making that disappear. In my opinion, when they found the Range Rover and were holding yellow sheets up, I believe they found something in the back to let them know that Nancy was once in that Range Rover. That's a possibility. I think that at this point, because of the shit show that this has become, they knew that there was no doubt in their mind that anything that was in the back of that car was going to be filmed to the world. And just imagine how bad it would be if you opened up the back of that car and she was in it, right? No longer with us. And you showed that to the world. The first shot of the family got of finding out she was gone was seeing her body on some YouTuber's channel. I think that they were holding that up on the outside chance that there was any kind of evidence in there. And they don't want us knowing it before even the FBI does. Because unfortunately right now, everything is in play, man, right? Everything. All people are watching. Had the outage in UK too. Wow. Thought they were doing their midnight shutdown. I'm a little surprised that that YouTube went down, and in a way I'm not. There's more live streaming going on right now than there's ever been, honestly.
I've seen it in 10 years.
And this takes up bandwidth. Live streaming is I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with it, whether good or not. I think he fell off the ladder he used to smash the floodlights. Interesting. Charlene, interesting. He could have, right? There definitely looks like he's favoring something. And I'll tell you something else, just real briefly. If I'm covering the camera so that you guys can't see me, I'm going to do it like that. I'm probably not going to do it like this. I find that very freaking odd. I don't know what's going on with the hand, right? But that doesn't pass. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? It makes zero sense to me at all that if you're going to block a camera, you do it with your hand in the shape of a U, right? Or an N, and you go up and do this. Put your hand up, right? The bigger your and it's rubber, right? The bigger your black rubber hand can get to that camera, the better. Coffee going through you, old man?
It is, man. Sorry about that.
I really hope this isn't some psycho fan that saw her segment she had 3 months ago earlier and went to visit her from Tucson. The only thing I like other than neck, beard, and greed is this. I'm sorry, but that's the truth, man. I beg to differ.
What?
with Nancy was not in the home. There's no proof she even made it home after the dinner at Annie and Tommaso's house. So when her heart separated from the watch, where was the watch? Because the watch was pinging to signals on Wi-Fi. Her house, the house is next to it, right? They can pull all that up. And her pacemaker was attached to a watch. That watch was not attached to the Wi-Fi at Annie's house. I wish it was. That was my theory. But it isn't. Her heart separated from that device at her house. We do know that. I promise you we do. There would be zero reason whatsoever for them to bullshit the world, right? If it was pinging off at Annie's, they would have said Annie's house was where this ended. And the investigation would be in a much different direction right now. She was separated from that watch at her house. And at that time, it was not on Annie's Wi-Fi, it was on hers. What does it mean to isolate signals? Does that mean that if your YouTube didn't crash, you could be a suspect? No, it means that there are people out there that might be, there are people out there that could be watching this. They may have interacted with chats. There's a lot of reasons to think that people return to the scene of the crime, even if it's digitally. And they may start taking down different sections so that they can get a smaller group that they can concentrate on, because at any given time, there's a gazillion people that are working on this. So maybe the area that they thought the person was in was the last one that they let crash, right? For the rest of the world who's just watching YouTube, they wouldn't give a shit. You follow me? If you're trying to track every signal on planet Earth, what if you just turned off everything but Tucson for about 40 minutes? You'd have a much smaller group of people that you could start looking at. Just a theory. I don't know if it holds water, but I kind of like it. Poor Papa Smurf Johnny. Yeah, he did have to.
I figured you'd read that. So, you know what? Maybe that'll slip by, but no.
That's true. They have not released the car yet, which I do. At least it seems like they're doing a better job with that. Think of how long they've had this car and how fast it took for Sheriff Dumbbastard to release the crime scene. They've had the house for about 8 times longer than he needed with the entire crime scene. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm being too hard on him. He's a good dude, right? I'm just being too hard on him. Yeah, seriously, just think about that for a second. Why the hell would you even pick up the foliage? Why didn't he just walk up and smash the camera right off of it? I'm thinking noise, right? And
also, the gun is positioned as if he was right-handed, but yet he grabbed the brush with his left.
It's also
I'm thinking it's costume, man. It's a costume.
It's also positioned in such a way that if you just made even the smallest mistake,
you blow off your Johnson.
Yeah, it's like a Remington vasectomy. Yeah, seriously, just a big guy. So here's the deal. What if the person that hired you to do this gig said, it's simple as shit. You just take this thing and it pries right off the back. That little camera will come straight off. It's a battery one. You got up there, started pulling and it didn't work. Watch what happens when he turns around. He looks down. His head goes back and forth about 4 times. He's looking on the concrete for anything he can jam behind that. Then he goes over, he looks around, he thinks, stick. He reaches down. He's not grabbing for flowers. He's grabbing for a stick. And we know this because when it was all said and done, there was a stick still stuck into that piece.
Carol's got a great comment.
What is it?
I live in Pima County. This morning I turned to my husband and said, we have Nanos as a sheriff. If either one of us goes missing, we better say our goodbyes every day. We'll never be found. They're going to find her, but boy. No,
that is a great comment, though.
They'll find her in spite of Nanos, not because of him.
Yeah, that is actually a great comment. TC, you know why you don't use duct tape, honestly? Because duct tape is the worst friend of every criminal that ever lived. You can take fingerprints on duct tape. Duct tape will tear a glove when you try to rip it. It will get on that glove and tear it like you've never seen. And they actually manufacture that stuff now in a way so that you can figure out where it's manufactured. You can figure out what batch it came out of. It's a very different thing. Duct tape is dangerous. And if you're absolutely
where it was sold, what part of the country, when it was purchased, what cash register it was purchased.
Exactly. And the guy that sold it to you just quit smoking. It's one of those things that really kind of makes it happen. Is it possible the porch guy wore multiple layers? I think so, Jeff. I absolutely think so. Don't you think? I mean, to me, he looks like the Michelin Man. And get a look at the size of his hands. And I know it seems like I'm just picking on him because I have large hands, but I'm not. This is a real thing. If you look at that, they say, everybody says, right? I've even heard authorities that are theorizing that there's a smaller pair of gloves under that one. I'm telling you, wait till you see my hands in a pair of 2Xs. It looks like I have a black hand. You don't see, it's skin freaking tight, right? They usually rip with me putting them on. That person's got very, very small hands. Savannah's last video is outside with green grass and trees. Speculation, she might be in Florida. If so, would that bother you that she's not hanging out in Tucson with the investigators? No, it wouldn't. And I'm not 100% sure that she's in Florida. But no, it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't. I have no issue whatsoever with her. I don't think that she's a suspect in this. Do I think it would make sense? Probably not much. And I don't think that she's left Tucson. I think that she's struggling. But no, it wouldn't bother me.
Confirmation for me that they're local was just, you know how weird houses are there.
Oh,
You know where a house is at. You ain't just going to accidentally get there.
There's really something to be said
for that. If you need to get out of there in a hurry, it's like a maze, man. If you need, especially if you got a body in the car.
Yeah, I wish I could put my hands up next to my wife's because it's one of the greatest. We used to do a lot of live stuff in the same room. And I put my hands up and her fingers come to here, right there. I have really ridiculously big paws, but that dude does not. And I know you guys have all seen this 150 times, but I don't care. So you're going to see it again. Do you see that hand? Do you see the wrinkles in that glove? If that was a man with a decent sized hand, those wrinkles ain't there like that. And there's a glove under it. I'm sorry. You have a very, very small Johnson. I mean, hands. Your hands are not very big. If you can get a pair of gloves on underneath that and still have those kind of wrinkles in there, you got small hands for real. And why would you hold your hand like that in that fisted shape to cover the camera? You're cutting down on the surface area of the blocking instrument. See what I did there?
He also, to me, the person has hips more feminine than men. He's got
a lot
hips.
of people have said that. A lot of people say that the body type doesn't look like a woman's.
I notice hips, I guess. Sorry.
Feel good about yourself?
I don't feel bad about myself.
Rampant nepotism, such as promoting less qualified, creates a us versus them workplace cultures and lower pay or fewer advancements opportunities for outsiders. And you know what else? How about if you piss me off, Carol, then I'm not going to treat you good for the rest of your career. Because that's what's going on with Nanos. Nanos is doing everything within his power to where you do something to piss me off, I won't fly the plane that needs to go find this kidnapped woman because you did something to piss me off during my political campaign. That can't happen, man. That can't happen. It's fine if if you work at Dunder Mifflin, right? But this is not a situation where you can have somebody.
Very nice.
You like that? Good reference?
You used to have a Dunder Mifflin shirt.
As well, you should. But no, this isn't something you can do when there's somebody's life on the line, right? I'm sorry. It's horrible. It was hair lip and neck beard or grandchild, maybe. It could be. Call Magnum PI and Higgins. You know what? And they could get it done in a half an hour, and then nobody that doesn't understand true crime would be pissed that we're at day 14 or 17. I'm sorry.
The other thing is this. It's not a cold case. Please stop saying that.
Maybe he hurt his hand when he caused her to bleed. Yeah, the problem with that, Jennifer, is that video in the front was before he caused her to bleed, right? We assume that was done before anybody went inside. How do we know that law enforcement has custody still of any of the cars? Because none of them have returned back to the scene, and there's been no reporting by anybody that anything has been released. Not the Range Rover, not the other one. And I check that every morning.
Hey, when's the last time they were by Neckbeard's place? Because
they're in that neighborhood every day. It may be further down, and it's not where there are people camping out, but they are canvassing that neighborhood every single day. Is it true when they took the electronics from Annie's house that one of them had a search for how to dispose of a body and another search how to get rid of the smell? Good God, let's hope so. Right? I really doubt that. I really doubt that. I've heard that nowhere. I wish that were the truth. And if not, they're electronic somebody's, because that's the kind of stuff that makes these things happen, right? It's somebody that's dumb enough to Google, where can I stab myself and not die, right? You know how many crimes have been literally been solved by that?
But here's the truth of it. If you're a true crime fan, I promise you, people have some scary searches in their search history. Everybody watching, if you're a true crime fan, you've Googled some weird stuff. Who hasn't?
Once again, there has been no announcement whatsoever that car has been released, right? These are the things that you actually want to tell the public, right? We released that car. We released this because if not, don't come out and say, we don't want you speculating. The family's done nothing wrong. Trust me, if they had released that car, then we would have heard that from Sheriff Dumbass on somebody's interview, because he wants the world to believe that they're not suspects, yet they still have the car. Why do you hear about a part in Savannah's book about I did hear about this. We talked about this earlier. There is a part in the book where she talks about, as kids, they used to play a game called kidnapping, a very odd game. We all played some really freaking odd games growing up, right?
I think you more than the next guy.
Me probably more than the next guy. But I don't think that this means that she's actually been waiting her entire life to kidnap her mother and then do the Academy Award-winning acting job of coming out and looking pained. I do believe that a sick puppy could read that and think, just like Hinckley allegedly did, right? I can impress Jodie Foster if I just try to kill the president, right? Or I could impress her if I kidnapped her mother. That kind of thing could happen. I don't think it means that anybody in that family is in on it because of that. But it was a weird game. But as I said, I used to play a game called Bloody Murder. It was a neighbor of ours that used to do it. I haven't whacked anybody.
That was a great game, man.
It was a good game. It was a good game. Wasn't the best one. It was a damn good one. And I played Doctor a lot. By way of full definition, I still occasionally play Doctor.
Yeah, but you had a bag with instruments in
Reese, you were there. What's that?
You had a bag with instruments in it. It was a little different.
Wow, it had to go dark, huh? Had to go dark. Couldn't you just let that one go? I think that's right, though. He might have hurt his hand, and that's why he was holding it like that, regardless of the blood timing. Yeah, no, I think that they definitely could have done something to hurt that hand. It is a really weird way to try to block something.
Thank you, Smudgy Girl. Thank you so much.
No, Ilaria, I don't think that's far-fetched. I don't think that's far-fetched at all. There's a decent, the reason for this guy needing a car when he did, but there's also a lot of people that are saying, hey, and that guy the girl that he got arrested with, that's the niece of, no, it's not. I promise you it's not. You can stop with those comments. That woman has no relation to the Guthries. I actually had to pull family freaking trees, and I assure you that person does not have any relation to the Guthries by birth, by marriage, by anything. It's just that, again, have a friggin' press conference. Don't complain about people that speculate wildly if you only give them information once a month. Odd that they didn't take the doormat. That's, you know what, Smudge? So many people have said this, and I always do try to give credit when people are way ahead of it, because
that is wicked odd.
Because TC, I swear to you, TC said this 2 weeks ago. She was like, why is that doormat still there? Like, why is that doormat still there? And also said there was a stick that pried that off of the wall. And at the time I thought, yeah, this one's nuts. But the door, this makes a lot of sense. Why was that not taken? For real, why was that not taken?
Nanos, he has no credibility. He has a beef with the FBI. Everybody thinks he's a joke. I just wanted to say that.
Nailed it too. He should shut up and go away and hire and get the people that literally train to go out and talk to the press. Normally when you do press conferences, think DC shooter. You remember when the DC shooter was going on, right? The feds were handling that. They were working with locals, but the feds were handling that. And for that reason, every day they had a press conference. I don't care if they had nothing to say. It brings all of those sleuths that are driving around looking for a white van. If you remember, it wasn't a white van. Ended up being a blue automobile or something. They cut a hole by the license plate. But the whole world was looking for white vans, and sleuths back then were driving around looking for white vans. Have a press conference every single day, and all those people come in to hear what you're saying. Keep them there for hours, right? Tie them up. It gives your people an opportunity to go out and do something like show up at a gun store and not find out that 50 YouTubers showed up at that gun store also with a blow-up picture on their phone. What kind of gun do you think that is?
Right.
Anybody buy one of these in the last couple of months?
Trust me, they went there before the cops did.
This is becoming a thing. It really is. And I'm not mad at him, but he could stop this from happening if he used his dome. Unfortunately, at this point, his dome is not good for much, right?
I also saw that some neighbor within a couple miles radius had some very odd YouTube Google searches. Did you see that?
Yes. You know what? Just another game I play, and I am a believable cop. Not only do I play a good doctor, I play a good cop. You know the fun thing about cops?
A robber, dude.
Well, I do a good robber too, but cops carry handcuffs. See what I say there? Chevy Caprice, thank you. It was a blue Chevy Caprice, I believe. Read what Minus Lightly said in the chat. Can you find Minus Lightly?
You stay where you are. I'll find it. Yeah, here we go. For your information, the detective in the Lacey Peterson case emphatically stated that Scott Peterson was not a subject or suspect, while at the same time they were tapping his phone and building the case.
That is absolutely a fact. When is Neckbeard going to come out in a white Bronco? Man, well, we have the glove, right? And I'll tell you what, man. If I could grow my hair out, I'd do a wicked Kato Kalin.
Yeah, you would.
I can couch surf with the best of them.
If you kept a hat on and just screw the back out, you could probably pull it off.
You know what? You should see me in a Kentucky waterfall. I bet Neckbeard and Dominic is on that list of 40 names. You know what? Bet the farm.
I spend my days worrying that photo will get released somehow.
I have that photo.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Side by side, both of us with sporting wicked mullets.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That would make Hannah Montana's old man pissed off, jealous. Do me a favor, everybody. Smack that like button. Hit the bell for notification. If you have not hit the thumbs up, do that.
Please do that.
Really
Where are you? We're in Ecuador. South
Salinas.
America. Salinas.
Sheriff Dumbnuts. Not bad. I like it. I'm as deep as a puddle. Yes, you are, babe. And I love you.
Prayers for Nancy. For sure.
Loretta Hauser, every day. Every day. And look, I'm not praying that they don't find her. I'm not praying that. I pray it every day. But my prayer is for her family at this point. I really am praying that they get some kind of a piece out of this. Yeah, this is, and now that they're talking to intelligent people, they're all backing up what I've been saying since day 3, when everybody said this is a home invasion gone wrong. Now that is actually getting to the people that do this for a living, because they didn't seem to speculate on that. Now they're bringing in experts that go, people don't do home invasions at 2:00 in the morning, right? It's way too dangerous. 3 guns per American. You realize that's the stat, right? For everybody in America, there's 3 guns. You're not just going smoking through the front door like it's some friggin' movie that you watch direct to video with Steven Seagal. By the way, if you like Steven Seagal movies, you're probably not bright enough for this whole true crime thing.
Does anyone here watch them? Seriously?
Reese loves it. But ironically, Tommy Wise law enforcement refused to disclose whether there was forced entry or not. Oh, no, they're saying there's forced entry. What they won't tell us is, how was the forced entry made? Because forced entry could be, I broke the door, I broke the window, I jimmied the lock, or I knocked the woman that answered the door onto her ass and then grabbed her, right? All of those things are forced entry. They have been dumb enough to say out loud that, oh, no, there was definitely forced entry. They're just not telling us enough. So it gets all of the speculation going. It gets all of these things happening. And like Ryan says, if we keep it simple, right, you probably come back to at least what all of us are thinking, including the cops. Don't let them lie to you.
But you can't just look and say, oh, it's been broken into. I haven't broken the law in a long time, but I might have gotten in and out of the house, and they would never, ever know I was ever there.
Right.
Back door. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's a little frightening. Under Siege, Out to Kill. All of these they're fantastic in that sense of the word, that Battle Beyond the Stars was a really great science fiction film. Right? Remember the guy's got on
Battle Beyond the Stars, what was it called?
Yeah, it was Battle Beyond the Stars. The guy's literally wearing a Timex watch. He's got the blaster up, and you're like, holy shit, that watch has got to be 4,000 years old by that point.
Even Ben-Hur, he pulls his sword out, and he's wearing a wristwatch, and you can see the contrail of a jet in the background.
You absolutely can see a jet fly through one of their scenes. Would you guys ever do a call-in show? Absolutely. I've done them before. They're a hell of a lot of fun, and I promise you they are in the future.
I also got an email saying we need to do a question and answer. Just a Q&A.
Yeah, we'll do I got a couple of comments about that. We'll do a Scoville Q&A at some point too, I promise. But yeah, we will do a call-in show, and that's a great question. It really is. My money's still on Neckbeard. Me too. And I'm still giving up odds. I'm not going to stay up too late, baby. I promise. And you're almost at 19 or 18 rather. And you know what that means? Huh? Doctor, that's right. There's got an exam here. Could son-in-law ran into the house, unlocked the door, and that's why there was a 2-minute window from the garage door open to when it closed? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a possibility, right? Sneaks in or goes in and talks to her, walks in with her, right? That's an absolute possibility. And you know what? Not a bad one. He goes in, helps mother-in-law inside, unlocks the back door, right? Says goodnight to her and walks out. Absolutely a possibility.
Of all the people we know, we've been to a bunch of houses in Tucson. How many of them go through the front door? Everybody goes through the garage.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the truth.
Truly, right?
Yeah, in Tucson, man, that's how I don't know why it is, but I did it. Everybody does it. Come get some. See, Jeannie Hansen, that gets it. I do need my sleep, and I'm absolutely afraid of my wife. No, look, true story. I love staying up with you guys for 2 or 3 hours at a whack. We are burning this at 2 ends. We're burning it at 2 ends. And you know what the sad thing is? Normally, honest to God, it's a lot more fun than this. because normally there's so much more that you can actually research. We run into walls everywhere we go. I have tried to do some things that would be really, really unique, like chase down, and I'm doing it from South America, but I do have a lot of connections in Tucson, which is good. But all of the great issues, we're not going to get any love on. For instance, I want to know who that woman is that left the card. You're just not going to get that. All of that stuff falls under HIPAA, right? We really need, you know who will get it?
Who?
Harvey Levin. Harvey will offer $15K and somebody will come in there and be like, hey, I'm the one that left that card, right? But for us normal folk, this is it's a lot of nuance at this point. It's going over the stuff in your head again and again. That last comment was fantastic. He absolutely could have gone in there. That could explain the 2 minutes. It really could. And a lot of people in the beginning said, you know, maybe he hid inside. I don't think he hid inside, but he absolutely could have opened that back door.
40 minutes, man. That's an eternity.
You heard lots of people leave their doors unlocked there. I've heard that too. I didn't know anyone that did, though. I didn't know anyone in Tucson that did. And not because they were afraid. It was just everywhere I went. Most people leave the front door locked to go through the garage. We never opened our doors. You know what I mean?
Ever.
If we were leaving, and except for the one to the back, you know, where the pool was. But I wonder if the perp has returned to the scene of the crime. If he hasn't, I'm telling you, man, I would be willing to bet that he's doing it digitally, right? Think of how much easier it is now. In the old days, you'd actually have to go out there and drive by your house. Now you can just watch some content creator that's streaming it 24/7, parked right in front of the crime scene. I would be really surprised if they didn't get some kind of buzz doing that. I mean, for real, because these are the kind of people that groove to that. If it were me, if I did this crime and the whole world was looking for me, I'd be suicidal. I said suicidal.
Nice work.
Can't say that one on a YouTube. You can't.
Well, you can.
They make sure you don't get your video pushed. Still can't believe with all the cameras in buildings and houses, traffic lights, commercial buildings, etc., that there's nothing to see.
That they're showing us.
Yeah, there's something. They just haven't found it, right? They haven't found it or they haven't let on to it. But once again, don't believe that everything that we haven't heard is the truth or that everything we have is. It's not that they demonetize you for all of those quibs. They don't push you. What happens is the algorithm goes, oh, and if you think I'm kidding, put the word predator in a video you do. I can prove it to you tomorrow. You put the word predator in a title and you're going to get 300 views. And I don't care how big your channel is. They will bury this shit. And if you say the wrong words too much, they bury it. However, all of you hitting the like button, hitting subscribe, hyping us, doing all the things you're doing is pushing past that.
It helps a lot.
And I know they hate that.
Harvey Levin's worth $20 million. And
yes.
He would trade it all for a little bit more.
And he would trade it all for just a little bit more.
Great reference. Anybody get that?
He's it doesn't surprise me either. Yeah, he built TMZ, he sold it, right? And now he works at it. He's a hustler. He really is.
Boy, isn't he a grinder? Something fierce.
He's a grinder. And honest.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't trust Harvey Levin. I do trust him more than I trust Nanos, but not by much.
If Harvey said it was the 18th,
I live in Tucson. I would never leave my doors unlocked day or night. I don't answer the door to unexpected visitors either. Neither do I. Right?
Listen, if we were the only two people on the planet, I wouldn't leave the door unlocked.
It's true.
That guy.
Yeah, no, I'm that guy too. I think if you've ever been around it,
to get to our place here, how many gates? It's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I leave. I come back. Both doors are locked. Both locks are,
Yeah, and you got to get through 4 doors to get to this one. I lock everything, man. I was a criminal. I know criminals stink.
Christy Wolf, about to go to bed. Got up at 5:30. Thanks for being here.
Christy Wolf, thank you for spending time with us. And for all of you, thank you for spending time with us. I really appreciate that. Smack the like button, hit the bell for notification.
And Ryan likes your channel for proper use of words.
Why, thank you.
You know, it's so disrespectful to anybody who's been on the wrong end to say grape or
no, I'm not doing any of that shit.
Sexual assault. I mean,
it is a fortress, isn't it, Quibs? This is definitely a fortress. It requires many
bunker,
locked
really.
gates.
I like bunker.
Yeah, it is a concrete bunker. And it had to be because the last one we were in, I don't know if you ever saw it, but we were on the 14th floor in the penthouse, and we had a really good-sized earthquake. And if you've never been in a high-rise building during an earthquake,
you haven't lived.
I suggest you give it a try. It's funny as hell.
It was funny afterwards.
That guy ain't shooting that gun with his gloves on. Yeah, well, and you know what else? Harvey Levin said he also couldn't drive a car with the gloves on. Oh, I could shoot that gun with gloves on. I assure you I could. And more than likely, so it's an automatic, right? Unless this guy's really a chump, then it's already racked. They've already got a bullet inside.
Sheriff kind of looks like Grandpa from the Munsters.
Yeah, a little bit. I think he looks exactly like Frank Drebin.
Well, he really does. That thumbnail you did was
he does
gold.
look a little like he does look a little like Grandpa though. The more I think about that, the funnier that is.
Put in the right outfit.
Yeah,
Forget about it.
That'd
be great for like if he goes to like a Halloween costume party. He needs to do that.
He could do a mean Grandpa.
He could just go as himself and claim he's Frank Drebin then.
All he's got to do is do that stupid look. And you know something? Everybody does this one. Every single time the guy opens his mouth, he's a perfect Frank Drebin. Yeah, statistically, it's almost no statistic. Honest to God, you have to go outside the United States to get that statistic, and I'm not being funny. You literally have to leave the United States. Nobody in the United States is abducting people that age. It does happen in other countries because a lot of times in other countries they treat elders different.
Senior napping.
No, they don't. They do go with. They do.
Can you imagine? Is there a person you get that would have more ailments and more that would create more issues during a kidnapping than that? I mean,
me.
I'm trying to be mean.
Me, but very few people. Do I think Google can retrieve more videos from inside? I don't, but I think that the people that they have on it might be able to get it from the companies that bought that stuff to scrape it. It's a needle in a haystack, but they might pull it off. Do I think they buried the body to get rid of it? Probably. You know, if she's gone, then she's probably abandoned or buried. Back of automobiles, they put people in trunks. Storage facilities end up with people in them. It's and if they're pros, then they're not going to find her because she's probably been put into a car and had the car crushed. I'm sorry, but
someone
that's what
asked
pros do.
If they did eliminate her, would they go back and check to see if how the body's doing, like decomposition?
Yeah,
I think if you did dump her somewhere,
you're never going back anywhere near that again as long as you live.
I wouldn't anyway.
Why was the crime scene never taped off? Because the sheriff is a chump, and it was taped off for about an hour and 45 minutes. I'm being a wise ass, but it was not taped off for very long, man. Oh, you're back. Oh, we're always here, Giselle, every night at this time, and for a little longer, right? Until this thing starts to take shape. And if there's a great case, we're probably live at midnight. Does anyone know if there's an older slider door on the back? I don't know, but I know why you're asking, right? Yeah, the older sliders are very easy to get into. Pay attention, right? This is a public service announcement. Cut a stick. Right, the length of the track and lay it in there. That's right, a Brooklyn doorstop. You put that stick into that slider, and it doesn't matter whether it's locked or not. No one's getting in because the old ones, all they do is hook. And if you push them up like this, I promise you, I can get into 99 out of 100 sliders.
And that would be getting in. You could get out, and nobody would ever know you were there if you didn't, leave a mess.
I don't think law enforcement's missing anything on Derek. And the reason I say that is he's just another chump sucker. And the real proof to that is when they showed up, that guy told on himself in 6 seconds, and criminals don't do that. We got a way of trying to keep our mouths shut at least long enough to talk to an attorney. He folded instantly and went, yeah, I did it. I was trying to get paid. I mean, he told on himself so fast that he's just an asshole that was trying to make money.
Great question from one of the mods, Brock Bandy. I wonder if they've taken cadaver dogs to the landfill. I'd be willing to bet you they do.
Yeah, I know that they've been to the landfill. I don't know whether or not they brought cadaver dogs out there, but I would guess that that's what they did. They didn't announce that. They look for that too. The freezers are often used. I hate to say that, but they are. A lot of times people use freezers because they work.
Yep. Or storage facilities. I've been thinking about that.
Right.
How many storage facilities around the U.S. do you think somebody goes in and buys a 10-year storage, pays you up front? What do you think's in there? Because that happens. And no one that works at a storage place, and I say 10 years, what you're going to put in there? They just say, here's what it's going to cost.
And then you put Miss Moffat in there.
Well played.
You heard me. Miss Moffat.
Very well played.
Best thing for him, really.
Therapy was going nowhere.
His therapy was going nowhere. Derek is in federal custody, not state. He should be. It's a federal offense. Yeah, I can't believe Savannah isn't up on security in these days. Here's the thing. This is kind of sad that this is always how it gets down, really, right? You don't know that you need a security system until somebody just ripped off your house. You don't know that you need insurance until you just had a car crash without it. Right? All of these things are that way. Maybe somebody learns from this and says, I'm going to do something to make sure that my 85-year-old mother is safe. I'm telling you, you should see the gangster we got living with my mom. I wish he'd keep his room clean. He won't keep his room clean.
Good question. Tomas's house ring camera. heard.
Yeah, no one is coming off of any information about that, right? That's a really great question. Again, that come out and tell us the guy had a ring cam, right? That helps prove him innocent, and we can shut up and move on to somebody else. But they're not giving us anything. Can you tell me if anybody has seen the person that works for the police department, right? Pima County Sheriffs, who's their public service person? Who comes out and talks to the press normally? Because we ain't met him. We're 17 days in, and the only person that's talking to us is the sheriff. Shut up and hide.
He thinks he's Grady.
He really does think he's Sheriff Grady, except he has no personality.
Maybe there was a rock star.
He is. Maybe there was a bio evidence found in the back of the Range Rover. Could be. They still have it, right? They still have it. Benjamin Raspel.
Wow.
Well played. That's my girl.
She went up you.
She did. Well, she did. She did. She occasionally shames me. Treats me like I'm her, The dude ripped off the camera to make sure it was the last video seen, in my opinion. They also make artificial video movements.
So, you know what?
What is an artificial video movement?
In one of the, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, someone said if you watch the video on 25 speed, super slow, there are several cuts in the video, the porch video.
Oh, but they admitted that. No, they did admit that. That porch video is actually taken from many different cuts and put together because of how they were able to retrieve it. That's what we got. Strange how dirty the Range Rover was after Luke owned it for one day. That's a hell of a comment, isn't it?
Right? Like they may have been in the desert somewhere.
Well, you buy a car from a dealership, you don't pick it up dirty.
No, they detail it.
They detail the crap out of that. First word out of Savannah's mouth after asking for this guy to do the right thing, and then Trump calls for the death penalty. Does he run or hide? Well, that's a great question. It really is.
If I'm a criminal, I know there's a death penalty attached to it. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm doubling down.
Here's the deal. The question, I think the answer to that, Mikey, is she dead or alive? Because if she's dead, you better start running. And if she's alive, run and hide and make sure that she's alive until you can let somebody know where she is, right? Because at this point, the only thing that would keep these people from getting a needle stuck in their arm or spending the rest of their life in prison would be to be able to deliver her, still breathing, back to the family. You could probably cut yourself a 20-year deal if you were to call right now, maybe 25.
They need to write 3 books: how not to do a kidnapping, how to not look guilty if you're innocent, and how to do a proper press conference.
Right?
3 great books they need to write.
Well, wouldn't that be a pisser? Boy, I tell you what, Christy Wolf, you want a great way to start some conspiracy theories or running? Get a court order to force everybody that's hanging out in front of that house to leave. And I hope they do. I know it'll cause conspiracy, but you're going to get a much better case if those people weren't parked on that road. And I'm not mad at them. If I was there, I'd be parked on that road. But looking at it from a distance, they sure as shit aren't helping. And we could start with the obvious, like pizza deliveries and, people chasing the vehicles to the next crime scene, literally trying to outrun them, staying side for side, trying to be the first car to get there. This is a shit show of epic proportion. What if the FBI created the non-retrievable camera footage just to mess with the possible perps? Because of all those photos they are showing in the gun shops, faces are similar. Just saying. It's a theory. The problem is if they did that, then they brought in about 30,000 tips that they didn't need. And they're going to have to chase down every one of those. But this guy's dumb enough. So it's enough to make you wonder. But I do think that that's probably real. And I'm going to, until I have a lot of reason to think otherwise, I'm going to say that that's it.
Flo Fleming asked an interesting question.
Yeah, the Swiss bank accounts, you could have done that a hot minute ago, right? But the Swiss bank account and the digital wallet really aren't that different. What I mean by that is the only thing that's connecting it to anything is a number. But if you want, you can park your happy ass in front of that number to see where that number takes stuff out of, converts it to money, wires it to somebody else. And the other thing is that, unfortunately, for the criminals of the world, you can't trust Switzerland anymore. They turned over 4,800 or something names last year that they did everything they said they were never going to do.
If there was a huge amount of money departed her account, all right? Even if they didn't know where it was going, that's going to get someone's attention. They'd be,
Yeah. Animal Mother, that's a great name, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
He's a great guy.
For real.
Yeah.
Just got to make sure.
This guy's got plenty of people throwing grenades at him. You wouldn't know what a great guy is.
You realize most people watching them, what the hell are they doing?
I know, but the people that get the references.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great question. And
it makes sense,
right? I heard the door cam would have recorded law enforcement activity at Nancy's over the video of the suspect if they didn't remove the camera. That makes sense. It's got a 3-hour deal, right? So as things go by it, it's going to record over it. How could she be alive now with the pacemaker knowledge out there? That pacemaker is destroyed. Sadly, it might be. However, it's still, you got to get within a football field and a half of this woman, right? Now, I guess if they stayed within 10 or 15 miles in any direction, that's a possibility. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I find that frightening, right? There's a lot of reasons to kill the person. I'm sorry, there are. I'm not trying to be, but as a criminal, look, you can't prove life, which means she was probably already dead. But if you're holding on to her for some other reason, what the hell are you holding on to her for? And now the whole world's looking for her. I would imagine that I think it's a stretch, and I'm praying for it, man. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong like I was with Elizabeth Smart, but I don't think there's a lot of hope. First walk up to the porch. Why can't you see the eye holes and the mouth? The first walk up to the porch, why can't you? Oh, well, here's the thing. We're seeing this in night vision, right? So until you get close enough that things are going to reflect out of that, I think that's the answer to the question, unless I don't understand the question, and that's a possibility. Not nearly as bright as I look. If the cop released all of the info they could truly have on this case, how long do you think it would take for the complete strangers and online sleuths to solve this case? I think it'd be a hell of a lot faster than it's going with Nanos at the helm.
Snooki has a good question here.
What is it?
I've sent 2 comments about True Crime Joe reporting Neckbeard's confession, but they both have disappeared. And I blocked her. Is YouTube being weird?
YouTube's probably being weird. I haven't seen it.
I haven't heard about that either.
I haven't heard that either, but write that down because I will take a look at it. But there's a lot of stuff out there that at this point, there are people who are generating things about this that are using, it's getting bad and it's their fault, man. Brian Enton interviewed Nanos tonight, who said Google was working on more videos. Isn't the FBI working on this with Google too? Yeah, absolutely. And if they can pull it off, we're going to see it. Hi, Karen. Good to see you. Heard anything factual about the roof cameras? No, nothing factual at all. And again, have a friggin' press conference once a day. You don't have to tell us. You could just say, yeah, we removed that camera. We're trying to do the same thing with that camera that we did with the front. But when they don't tell you shit, then we come up with theories. And then they get pissed and go, well, if it wasn't these armchair quarterbacks, throw us a bone here, right? Tell us something and we won't come up with theories that are based only on supposition. You're not giving us anything, man. Head down because he's looking for the step on the porch. Head down because he doesn't want his face to be seen, right? After he's up, I promise you that's what it is. Look at how he gets over that step backwards when he's picking up the flowers. I think he knows that place pretty well, in my opinion.
Even if you're wearing a balaclava, you feel like you're not. You're going to keep your head, you're going to try to avoid directly facing that camera.
Yep, I agree with you. All right, people, I'm going to call it a night on this one. Really appreciate all of you spending time with us. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. Make sure, if you don't, you're not going to know when we go live. And keep hitting the thumbs up every time you come here.
Please.
Hold on a second. The suspect removed the door cam on purpose so he would be the last video seen on camera. Otherwise, sheriff activities would have recorded over the suspect. Interesting. I think that they got rid of the camera for this reason real quick before we go. By the way, when you do go over there and hit subscribe to the Johnny Scoville. That's a Chase the Heat.
Please do that.
And then make sure you stop over and hit subscribe at.
You see, I like it a lot when you do that. And check out Relatable Reese.
If you don't, I'm not going to get to do that thing. So some people say that's not a mailbox. Some people say it's a handrail. You see that black thing? Nice.
Just saying.
You see that black thing behind him? Okay, that's where the car is going to end up pulling up if you got a getaway car. Getaway car is going to be on camera. If I'm doing this, I'm going to knock that camera out, and he's not looking for that step. I promise you. You don't put your head down and to the left to look at a step. You put your head down. He's doing everything he can to not have the face or any part of it get on that camera. He knew where it was. He also kills the light just before he gets around it. He is not at all unaware of where he is. But that's, in my opinion, why you got to get rid of that camera. Not so that you're the last face on it. You're getting rid of your face on that camera because you want more than anything to make sure that your getaway car isn't on film. That's my humble opinion, but that's just one criminal talking. All right, people, I hope to see you all back here tomorrow. If you don't, I'll have to get a job.
I don't like when you say things like that.
I know.
Why do you do it?
I don't know.
You say suicide,
false flag,
don't say job.
death, murder.
Job?
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, people, we'll see you on the next one. I'm Tommy.
I'm Johnny.
Have a great night, and please pray for the Guthrie family, right, for a safe return, and if not, for peace for this family. God bless. We'll see you later.